Yes, now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Thomas Rants YouTube channel. It's time to make NXT HEATWAVE predictions, which happens this Sunday. So we're giving the predictions within enough time. I had to make sure to get NXT out the way first, so that the next thing we see from NXT is HEATWAVE. So now, first thing I want to talk about is the mixed tag match. We have NXT North American champion Ethan Page teaming up with his fellow Canadian Chelsea Green from the main roster, taking on the team of Tavion Heights and Tyra May Steele. Now, you might think Chelsea Green is an established main roster superstar and Ethan Page is a champion. It's not likely they're going to lose. Wrong. This is the classic story of USA versus everybody. WWE loves to do, they're not from the USA, they're bad, USA is the good guys, and USA are going to win. Now, that's not the only reason. Tyra May Steele and Tavion Heights, both former Olympic wrestlers, both medalists. Tyra, the first ever female gold medalist in WWE. Winner of LFG, Tavion's just went solo. Clearly, they want to push these guys. And I feel like by getting the win, they're going to propel Tyra to further heights in NXT. And by winning this match, they're going to get Tavion Heights a shot at the NXT North American title. And run a story where Tavion chases the NXT title. And maybe Ethan Page will come out victorious in that feud. But regardless, the mixed tag match at NXT HEATWAVE, I predict Tavion Heights and Tyra May Steele are going to win that one. Then we have a random triple threat match. Well, it's not random, but it is sort of random. Jada Parker versus Kalani Jordan versus Lola Vice. The winner becomes the number one contender for the NXT Championship, or the NXT Women's Championship, which I'm confused why Lash Legend isn't in this. She was in the mix for this initially, but thanks to Nia Jax, she got cost against Fallon Henley, and then she lost to Nia Jax, so she's been kicked out of the picture, which, fair enough, she lost twice, but at the same time, she was a part of it, so it is what it is. Jada Parker, though, did beat Jasmine Nix, and Kalani Jordan and Lola Vice beat Fatal Influence in the tag match, so it kind of makes sense. These three actually got the win. Now, it would make sense for Jada Parker to win. She is the one that they're trying to push, and she's the biggest name in there. She's actually fought for the NXT Women's Championship before. It makes sense, but I don't know. Something's ringing about Lola Vice. Something is standing out. Lola Vice has been a lot more active. She's been on all the AAA events. And although Kalani Jordan is a great wrestler, and so is Jada Parker, they've not done much with Jada Parker. And I feel like if she was the one to win, they'd want to build some hype around her. And Kalani Jordan's just come off the back of trying to win the NXT Women's North American Championship. I feel like Lola Vice is the one. They've been putting Lola Vice on TV in a lot of spots and a lot of segments. I feel like she's the one. So I'm going to put my money on Lola Vice, purely just for the fact that Kalani and Jada have had recent title shots. Maybe it's Lola Vice's turn. And I think Lola Vice is a great in-ring competitor. And she would be the perfect person to put on a great match with JC Jane, who could potentially take the title, but will still lose to JC Jane, and it won't harm her career, nor JC Jane's. Whereas Jada Parker lost to JC Jane, be another story, because they're trying to actually build Jada Parker. I'm not saying they're trying to not build Lola Vice, but they've not had the previous build that they have had. So I feel like Lola Vice is going to take this one, and she's going to become number one contender, and I would love that. Next, we have the big feud of Jordynne Grace, Blake Monroe, and Jordan's been chasing down Blake after Blake cost her for the NXT Women's Championship. I feel like this is typical WWE formula. I feel like they're not going to be done with the feud because they've not really done anything, and it would be a pointless quick feud if you have the two biggest stars outside of NXT who came to NXT to then just have a couple week feud and then it end. If one of them women in that triple threat match are becoming number one contender for the NXT Women's Championship, that means there's not a space open for Jordan or Blake to become the next number one contender for the NXT Championship. So if they're ending this feud and they're not going for the NXT Women's Championship, what are they doing? Exactly. So the winner of this feud will obviously go on to be the next challenger for the NXT Women's Championship and most likely be the next NXT Women's Champion. I mean, picture it. You've got Blake Monroe and Jordynne Grace both on the roster and your champion's JC Jane. It doesn't make sense unless they're distracted, and this is that distraction. For such two big stars, this isn't just going to be a one and done. No. There's going to be some shenanigans. Blake Monroe's going to get the win as well. It's an ordinary match. With a big feud like this, you don't end it in an ordinary match. So Blake Monroe's going to get the win at HEATWAVE. They're going to lead to a further feud with another match with a stipulation where Jordynne Grace will get the win further down the line. But for now, Blake Monroe's pulling the shenanigans and she's getting a win over Jordynne Grace as well. That neck injury, they're going to utilise it. Come on, use your brain. Then we have the NXT Tag Team Champions Hank and Tank taking on Docs. Yeah, I think this is obvious. It's literally a layup. Hank and Tank have had their time with the titles. They've not really done much, but it's a decent run, you know, from April to August. 4-month run, you cannot complain. But Dark State have been taking over. They've been fighting all the big guys. They've won big matches. And it's time to finally pull that trigger. Dark State are going to win the NXT Tag Team Championships, and they're going to be dominant NXT Tag Team Champions. Let's be honest. So Dark State are definitely winning that one. As for the Women's Triple Threat match, I was confused whether it was for the TNA Knockouts Championship or if it was both the TNA Knockouts Championship and NXT Women's Championship. I said in my previous video, depending on what it is, will change my opinion. If it were for both titles, I would say JC Jane was retaining, because obviously. But it's only for the TNA Knockouts Championship. Now, that's for a reason. If JC Jane was winning this match, they would have also put the NXT Women's Championship on the line. They would have made the stakes higher, and JC Jane would have won. However, I feel like TNA want their belt back. Both two WWE superstars have got TNA World titles. I feel like this was a passing of the torch. Not passing of the torch, but a transitional champion for Ash by Elegance to win that TNA World Championship. JC took it from Masha. Masha's still trying to chase it, but Ash is going to come in there and steal it. Ash by Elegance, I think, is going to be your new TNA Knockouts champion and is going to win. And if you saw that match on NXT where the Elegance brand took on Fatal Influence, it was a great match. And the Elegance brand were quite dominant and they were quite good in the ring. That's the best I've ever seen. Who I think is Dana Brooke. I don't know. Has she aged a bit? Is that Dana Brooke? Am I wrong? But I feel like it is. If it is Dana Brooke, WWE never utilised her this much. So I wonder if she was actually still that good back then, or if she's actually improved. I don't know. But I feel like Ash by Elegance is getting a win, so that's who I'm putting my money on. And finally, the main event. Javon Evans finally got that shot against Obafemi that I said he should have been having since Stand and Deliver. After Stand and Deliver, Javon should have chased that title, and we should have only just been culminating that feud. That feud should have just ended, or this should have been the ending, but instead it's the start. Instead, Javon Evans is finally chasing the NXT title after doing nothing, and Obafemi's been fighting random challengers here and there like Miles Bourne and Josh Briggs and Yoshiki Inamura. But he beat Trick Williams with a convincing win. I mean, Trick did get distracted. You know, you can't just have the TNA World Champion lose like that, which is fair. But Javon finally got his shot. Unfortunately, I don't think they're going to pull the trigger yet. They want to build a bigger story and they want Oba to be more dominant. So I feel like Obafemi will retain this time. But that's not it for Javon and Oba. And they're going to keep continuing. They're going to build Javon as a big underdog. And eventually, at some point down the line, maybe not off of Obafemi, but he will win that NXT Championship. But it's going to be when Obafemi's long gone, because Obafemi is being a dominant NXT champion. And in fact, if anyone on the roster was fit to take the title off of Oba, it's Javon Evans. But it just ain't yet. So, my prediction is Obafemi. One last time, I'll run through who I think's going to win. The Canada versus USA. It's USA all day. Triple threat #1 contenders match. I'm picking Lola Vice. Jordan Grace, Blake Monroe. Blake Monroe wins by shenanigans. NXT Tag Team title match, Dark State get the win. For the TNA Knockouts Championship, Ash by Elegance will walk out as your new champion. And for the NXT Championship, Obafemi is still. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Tune in on Saturday for my SmackDown reactions. And tune in on Monday for my Heatwave reactions. Thank you all so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.